viewers, finally this video is here. The books I read in 2025 part 2. And I have only 4 books to cover, but I procrastinated so much over this. I have no idea why. I even kept this pile in front of me for like 15 days and I didn't record shit. I did write what I want to speak. That was also done like a long ago, but somehow I just couldn't find any. Till now, it's 1st of March today, and 2 months have passed, and I have read 2 books. One is did not finish, like I left it after 13 pages. I couldn't read it any further, and I have read an essay, and I am currently reading To Kill a Mockingbird, and I'm going to throw a punch at the car that is honking so loud outside. Somehow, the moment I want to record, it's so noisy. Or is it that I start focusing? Oh my god, will you big stuff coming up for me this month. I am shifting again. I'll miss this wall. I'll miss this setup. I don't know how I'm gonna set it up in the new house. That will be shown in a vlog. Editor Abhigya here on some 26th, 27th of May. I don't know the date today. That's when I'm editing this. And there is no moving out or setting up the new place vlog, and there won't be any because I just lost all interest somehow in edit not editing, in shooting. Basically, I was just too tired. It was also that peak summer in March and April, so I did not do anything. But I did start reading a lot, so maybe we'll move to reading vlogs and book stuff mostly on this channel. That is what I'm thinking right now. I'm planning to record a 2026 like first half reading that I did around 10 books. Like, crazy to think that I was only at 2 books till March and now I'm at 10, which also includes a graphic novel and some short stuff. But now back to that March Abhigya. Let's see what she has to say. Let's start with the first and my favorite read. Well, okay, I think it's not my favorite read, but I did enjoy it a whole lot. And yeah, according to the geopolitical situation we are living in right now, this book unfortunately makes a lot of sense even in today's world. Same stuff that I said about Animal Farm can be said about 1984, honestly. 1984 explores life inside a totalitarian regime. Every movement is under surveillance. Someone is watching you all the time out there, listening to you. Every step you take, everything is under surveillance. And people just rat each other out because, see, no one is getting fucking rewarded for ratting the other person out, but they do it. It's how they have been, brainwashed. So, Animal Farm kind of showed how a rise of dictatorship may look like, whereas 1984 covers the life in it. The book starts off very strong and it's a very smooth read, to be honest. And like every sentence you read, it reinforces the fact that you are now living in a dystopian reality. The first half is really well paced, the plot goes out really well. You just, get to know what the surroundings of our main character are, how he is living his day-to-day life. The book kind of fell for me once Julia was introduced, and I think I saw this as a very common feelings of the readers, that somehow the book starts feeling like a love plot. To go through those pages, it's a little tough. Like, I think it was stretched too much, and after that there is this huge dump about the regime and how it's working. Like, it's a book within a book. Like, I did not sign up to read non-fiction right here. A lot of things are revealed by the end of it about the situation with Julia and this regime dump that I'm talking about. That makes sense, but for that climax, the kind of rise the books make you go through is a little not worth it. I think it could have been reduced, but people either love 1984 or hate 1984. I don't know, maybe it's because of these two parts, because if I were to hate it, it would definitely be these two sections. However, once you finish the book, you do understand that why those things were told. Even now, I would still want them in the book, just not how the way it is. Because the book could have been finished in half the pages it is right now, and it's not that much. It is, I think, 300 pages book. If you're someone who really want to read Orwell, I think Animal Farm will be a good start. However, I have not read or know honestly any of his other books. These two are the most famous ones out there. I did see on Storygraph a bunch of his other works, but I don't think they're that popular. I'll see if I want to read. Orwell's writing is very different in both the books, so I don't really know what to expect in his other books. Like Animal Farm is so easy to read, even a child can do that, whereas 1984 is gets very lengthy. While reading, I was just like really curious. If you were there in that regime and if you have read the book, what do you think Room 101 will have for you? I don't want to spoil it, so I will not talk about it in the video, but you can drop it in the comments, keep it spoiler free. If you are posting spoilers, then just put a tag that it's a spoiler. But have you thought about what Room 101 will have for you? As for the ratings, I feel a little iffy about rating, like who am I to rate the book or the food or whatever. I don't know. I just feel really like, suppose I wrote something or I made something and then people are like, 5 stars, 1 star. So I think it gives some sort of entitlement to the consumers that I'm rating something, but I think mm, that's how it works. See, I understand about hotel ratings because it's an experience that you were served, you paid for, and your ratings are gonna help the other people. The books, though, like I'm not some critique, I'm just talking about these books for the love that I have for reading and that I want to share with everyone. So I think from this video, I'm gonna stop doing the ratings for every book. If you are like really interested in topics around what the book talks about, and if you want to be like, oh my god, we are living in this reality, then definitely read it. The next one is very special because it's written by my niece. It's a poetry book. It is her, this pretty little girl. She's my niece, and she wrote a book when she was 22 years old. It's a pretty collection of poems by her, and she calls it a small collection of poems written with love, with anger, in jest, and in all seriousness. A few of the poems that I loved in this book are Hand Pumping Happiness, Cities, and Laundry. And when I told her, she was really surprised about it because they are not her most favorite books. Anyway, I really love, like I love those two, especially the Hand Pumping Happiness and the other one is the Cities, because I could like imagine making a little video about it, in the sense like Instagram pay in the 4:3 film. Like I could totally imagine those things. Let me open the Cities one. It's a very short one. Cities are always in the process of dying, but they are never truly dead. Death and ruin would be peace, a simple silence. But cities are in a constant state of noise, of chaos. They may be diseased, demented, and dying, but never dead. A few of them are like what you are really feeling put poetically. So it's just lovely to read your feelings put out so well that you maybe do not want to word out. Yeah, it's out there on Amazon. You can get it. It's good for gifting also for people who love poems. Stuff we have Chonk, book on food, economics, and society. Lovely, lovely cover. This book is the actual reason why I did not record the video when I was back at home, because I really wanted to show you this book from inside. The illustrations it has. So every chapter starts with an illustration like this. Oh, the back one is also amazing. Every chapter ends with a recipe. How cool is that? It's a memoir, it's a cookbook, and it talks about food economics and society, which is of India. It literally delivers to you what it promises, and I love how it delivers it. The illustrations made me pause at every chapter, like I would spend 5 minutes seeing every detail because they are so detailed, so well made, so emotion inducing. Before you even start the chapter, you can get a gist of what's about to happen. It's so lovely. All the essays are informative, relatable, information full, and they're stat backed, data backed because it's written by an actual economist. The book sounds like, you meet a cousin at a gathering and he's just telling you random stuff about things that's happening in the world, or any fact that he knows, any, stories. I actually have a cousin like that. I have a few cousins and a few friends who are like that, and I absolutely love talking to them. The information in these essays is like bite sized and so well paced. Like, you don't feel like information dumping. I think it's the best non-fiction I read because it kept me hooked so easily. Like, usually when I'm reading a non-fiction, I have to read a fiction with it because I can't continuously read it for a long time or daily. But Chonk was, I think, my first ever non-fiction that I just read in one go, like not one day, but yeah. I think it took me a week or something, I don't know, but no more than a week, I guess, but it was a very fast read. Because you don't sit and read all the recipes. A few I have bookmarked that I would want to make sometime, maybe. Coming to the recipes, even the ones that I did like, they were so long. Like, I'm like, oh my god, who's gonna read instructions now? I really wish author would have like put YouTube links for the recipes, like where he's making them or someone is making them. I don't know, do something, man. Like, I wanna make the recipes, but I don't wanna read them. I would rather watch a video. Now, coming to the last and final book for the video, it's this one. If people from my office are watching, I think everyone owns this copy almost at this point. To my manager, it's called The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse, and it's by Charlie McKessie. It's a book for hope during the uncertain times. One copy of this book should be present in every household. It just means so much to me. It's such a lovely, heart touching book. It's a very cozy, comfy read. Like, I would pick this up over any of those Japanese translation books on bookshops. Okay, I'm gonna keep my mouth quiet over that topic. I think you can read it anytime at any point of your life and you will find something relatable in it, and that can, put you into a good mood, give you motivation, help you get out of the bed even. There's a cake bit. Let me open that page. Of course, it's bookmarked. Of course, the cake part is my favorite part. So the mole sees a cake and says, "Well, hello. Do you have a favorite saying?" asked the boy. "Yes," said the mole. "What is it?" "If at first you don't succeed, have some cake." "I see. Does it work?" asked the boy. Mole said, "Every time." And then the mole goes on and finishes the cake. "I got you a delicious cake," said the mole. "Did you?" asked the boy. "Yes." "Where is it?" "I ate it," said the mole. "Oh. But I got you another." "Did you?" asked the boy. "Where is that one?" The mole said, "The same thing seems to have happened to that." It's like everything is written and drawn with ink, and the characters get introduced. There's some illustrations like this as well. And at the end, there is a song thingy going on. It says a song of love and cake. Says here, a song of love and cake. I think I should look up on YouTube what this is about actually. And then this, the best part. The book does not end with the end. It says, "Look how far we have come." So yeah, that's it for this video. I want you to let me know which books you guys are reading right now, and if you have thoughts about Room 101 from the 1984. I'm really curious about that. I have asked friends also about it, and got some really crazy answers. So I'm curious, what is it for you? This is what I'm currently reading, To Kill a Mockingbird. When I started it, I could read max like 2-3 pages, but now I have picked up the pace, I've gotten comfortable with the flow and everything, and I'm at page 80. Let's see when this ends, because this month is coming up with a lot of changes and responsibilities. um, let's see how that changes my routine or makes it better or disrupts it. Anyway, drop your thoughts in the comments and I'll see you next time. Bye bye. Like, share, subscribe, please. Bye.